What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming here, and welcome back to episode number 8 of my F1 2021 My Team. And today we have the home of Formula 1, the British Grand Prix. And for this Grand Prix, we have development updates. We got a engine power, but unfortunately the turbo didn't come as planned on the car for the durability. That's okay because it's a durability part. It's not going to affect performance. The last time out in Austria, we crashed out, unfortunately. In the time before that in France, we did have a durability part fail, so durability is quite important. And however, for this Grand Prix, that's not going to be on the car, but that's fine. As I said, extra engine power for this track, which I consider to be a power and aerodynamic track, so I think this car should suit our car pretty well. We've got pretty well in the engine department area, so yeah, we'll fix that bit. You can see we've got plenty of parts on the aerodynamics, chassis, and also that durability part as I was talking about coming for the car in the upcoming weeks. But anyway, we'll jump into qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. And this Grand Prix here, we're looking at a interesting qualifying, hopefully seeing if we can get out of Q2. We know this is a very strong track for the AOA, very, very strong indeed, and we'll see how that all plays out over the course of the session. So here we go, first run in Q1, and we have I think it's Stroll behind us throughout this whole lap, just annoying me just sitting there, but that's fine. We managed to complete the lap here, and it's a 27.8, yes it was Stroll behind, and yeah, 27.8, which is slower than our teammate Lundgaard here on this first run, and we go again on the same set of tyres here, and we'll see how this lap time plays out as we come through the final two corners here. And you can see we're only just improving by 6 100ths of a second in the end, and we don't improve position there as Bottas goes fastest in the session. So last run in Q1 here on a second set of soft tyres, and here we go, we're going to show this lap in full as we sweep through turn 1 flat out, 7th gear, going to hold 7th gear here all the way to turn 3, and then braking back down to 3rd gear, hitting the apex very nicely there, and then short squirt here into turn 4 through the loop, and getting very nicely gently on the power. Unfortunately, I don't go gently there, and we go into a spin, and that's qualifying over for us here. We're currently sitting 19th in the session, which is not good. We're going to be knocked out of Q1 here again, which is very disappointing. Unfortunately, yeah, just very hot, throttle happy there out of the loop, and that's cost us maybe a spot in Q2. Lundgaard with his best qualifying of the year, I think, in 17th, but we're there in 20th. So Latifi and Mazepin don't out-qualify us, which is a bit of a bonus. You can see Raikkonen having a very, very strong run in qualifying, up in 14th. And I think with that result, he's definitely concealing that rivalry. But we'll jump into the race.
Silverstone circuit for today's Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula 1. It's been reinvented over the years, with turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Norris, Gasly, Leclerc, Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Christian Lundgaard and George Russell, Mick Schumacher, Jackson, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
So everybody, welcome to the British Grand Prix, and today it's a one-stop strategy, soft to medium, but as you can see, just like the league race I did here, there could be weather right at the end of the Grand Prix. So I'm planning around that once again for this Grand Prix. You know, with the additional weather, you just don't know what could happen in this race. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. And, yeah, soft to medium is the way to go. But do we go for that early undercut like we tried to do last time? Do we run a bit longer? I'm not sure what to do at this stage of the Grand Prix. And we're going to figure that out depending on how the race unfolds, if we're in a good position, poor position, and how aggressive to go. And I think it could be very interesting how it all unfolds. This could be very interesting. My pace has been better around Silverstone than I thought it might have been, considering how strong the AI are. I think we probably could have actually gotten through to Q2 if I had have been able to finish my lap, but that's all ifs and buts, and we're going to go based on the information we have here. I've got 26.5 laps of fuel, which is actually under fuel in the quite a bit. This is quite heavy fuel consumption track, so that's going to be very risky, and see if we can pull that off, and that is factoring in maybe a bit of weather later in the Grand Prix. But, you know, depending on how it all goes, hopefully it's we're able to have a good, clean Grand Prix. So here we go, ready for this British Grand Prix, and I think this is going to be a very exciting one, a potential chance of points here, I think, today, if we get it right with the rain coming towards the end of the race. So strategy is going to be very, very critical, considering what just happened in the Russian Grand Prix and real life Formula 1. Let's see if a little bit of rain at the end of this Grand Prix can spice it up. But here we go, 45 red lights here in Britain, and let's go here in Silverstone, and we get a decent start, much better than Mick Schumacher off the line, immediately jump into 19th position. We're going to be very conservative here in the turn 1, knowing that I tend to check up here. But yeah, so that's going to allow Latifi to come at us, but now we're going to have the inside line. We've got a quite an open line all the way up to 16th position here, and the AI were all in one line. That's given us a decent chunk of positions there, actually, and we're going to be in 16th as we're going to go around the outside of Raikkonen through the loop and onto the Wellington straight. So yeah, good work there as we now head into Brooklyn for the first time. Ocon and Giovinazzi side by side here, and who's going to win this one out? And I'm looking to maybe take advantage, as Giovinazzi's going to keep his foot in down the inside. I'm looking to take advantage maybe on the run down to Copse here if we can get a good toe here, but we're not very close. And Giovinazzi, takes the position, and will Ocon have a go at him into Copse? No, he's not close enough. So we're going to sit in 16th here, and Russell and Lundgaard have managed to get past Kimi Raikkonen as well. So Raikkonen's had a terrible run through Brooklands and Luffield, so that's quite a good first opening lap from us, from 20th position on the grid all the way up to 16th. So yeah, quite happy with that, and now we'll see if we can stick with Giovinazzi and Ocon ahead, as Ocon's going to go for it around the outside. No, there's no space there. He's going to switch to the inside. Great battle between these two, and Ocon and Giovinazzi side by side, but now Giovinazzi's got the line here for club, and he retakes the position, so it's going to be a bit of a scrap. And with Russell behind us, we're going to be quicker than the Williams here, so we might be able to pull away from him in this Grand Prix. We know he's a qualifying specialist, but as we now skip here onto the lap 3 here, and you've got Ocon still chasing Antonio Giovinazzi. We've got a second back to Russell, who is slightly dropping back. He's not quite got the pace of Giovinazzi, Ocon, or myself here, but you can see Giovinazzi is falling off the back of the Aston Martin and his teammate ahead. So Ocon desperately needs to get past it if he wants to keep in touch with the points here this afternoon. And as he has DRS here, we're quite close here as well. We haven't got quite the pace of Ocon, but I think we definitely have the pace of a Giovinazzi. So Ocon goes around the outside here. This time Giovinazzi leaves him a cars with, and he manages to go right around the outside. Great move there by Esteban Ocon to take 14th position. And now we'll see if we can do anything on Antonio Giovinazzi. But we're going to skip here onto lap 5, and you can see Ocon isn't exactly getting away from Giovinazzi here. You can see we've got 2.5 seconds now to Russell, and Lundgaard probably needs to get past him to help his race out. So, but yeah, we're quite close to the back of Giovinazzi here. He's got DRS though, so we're not going to be able to launch an attack at this stage of the Grand Prix here on lap 5, but it's quite early on. But we've got a bit of a message here from Jeff, so we'll just cut to that.
Okay, there appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. We can confirm that it's an issue with our engine. Good news, it looks like the fault has been fixed.
So I don't know what to make of that message, but you can see here half a lap later, and we've dropped 1.4 seconds out of DRS range, behind Giovinazzi, and Russell has closed up a good half a second as well. So we're going to, we move on here to lap 10. You can see we're now 7 seconds behind Giovinazzi. All our pace is gone. Obviously, we don't have to retire from the Grand Prix, but the car is just significantly slower, and it feels slower. And here we've got Lundgaard behind us now, and we're just going to let him go here. I was hoping he would get me on the straight, but he didn't quite manage to do that. But we made a mistake into Brooklands, and he's able to round us up through Luffield. So, this is now lap 11. You can see we've dropped 8 tenths to Lundgaard. We've been able to manage just to keep in the DRS, but that's what I was hoping to do. Just hopefully I can hang on with the DRS here. You can see coming out of Copse here how much more speed Russell has than us. So we've got a clear issue with our car at the minute, and it's just very difficult to fight like this. And Russell easily passes us here. We've got now Raikkonen behind, but you can see because we got DRS here, we got a very, very good run with the DRS, and we managed to re-overtake Russell here coming into snow, which I didn't really want to do, but I didn't really have a choice. I had that much overspeed, so yeah. Now a few cars coming to the pit lane. That's going to be I think Latifi and Raikkonen, as Latifi's name is in 15th there, but Verstappen is actually now behind us. Actually, I think it is Russell in the pit lane, sorry. So yeah, Russell and Raikkonen in the pit lane. Yeah, but a bunch of names changing. We've got cars coming out of the pit lane here. There's Perez and Norris, who are both going to be ahead of Max Verstappen here. We're very close with Norris there as we understeer an old tyre, but we managed to round up Norris here. But that's going to be short-lived here, because Norris is just going to come straight back at us here on this next Wellington straight. So yeah, I haven't got much to fight with at the minute. You can see Norris is going to easily overtake us. We're just down on power, and it's really affecting our speed here. And now we got a yellow flag here, and we got Verstappen. He touches us coming through Brooklyn, so he obviously thought he could go for a gap that wasn't there. So he's had a spin. So that's unfortunate for Max. That's going to hurt his race a lot, because he's had a bit of pace in this Grand Prix.
Green flag.
But yeah, as we cut now, we get a green flag.
Some
and now
information on Latifi. They're retiring.
That Latifi was out of the Grand Prix, hoping there was a safety car. Nothing here. Lap 12. You can see Ricciardo and Leclerc split us. But this is where I changed my strategy. Instead of going onto a medium compensator, knowing that there's a chance of rain at the end of the race, I took a chance here. Actually, I'm not putting on this lap, but you're going to have Gasly here try to go around the outside of us, and I didn't leave the space there. And there's a bit of contact. I think that actually breaks his front wing slightly, but yeah.
Christian,
so,
is it?
As we're going to come around here, Gasly's going to overtake us here at the next lap. And then here comes Sainz as well to round us up. But yeah, I'm changing strategy. I'm going to go back onto a second set of soft tyres. We've done 13 laps. These tyres are actually quite alright. I just have no pace with the engine issue. And the thing is, I'm going to jump on another set of soft tyres to see if that can help me keep up with the back markers at least. And at least keep me at a competitive advantage in this Grand Prix. And I am chancing now that we will definitely get rain and an intermediate period at the end of this Grand Prix. So Gasly, as you can see, also comes into the pit lane, so that's where I think he's picked up. As you can see, he's changing the front wing as well. We're actually going to come out ahead of him after this stop. So yeah, that little bit of contact definitely has ruined Pierre Gasly's Grand Prix. But yeah, I didn't expect him to come up the outside of me there into that corner. But everyone's got so much more speed than me on the straights. They're trying to overtake me in unexpected areas of the track. So
only one stop to go. One stop left in this strategy.
You can see we're going to come out here in 19th place behind Mick Schumacher, who we were well ahead before, and just ahead of Nikita Mazepin. You can see how far behind we are Lundgaard now in this Grand Prix. So it's just been an absolute disaster in terms of our pace. Obviously, they also got an undercut, which would have helped. But you can see now we move on here to lap 19, and we're following Mick Schumacher here. And yes, we are quicker than the two Haas cars here on the soft tyre, but that's the only reason we're quicker. But compared to my best lap at the Grand Prix, I've barely improved. But normally when you go into a new set of tyres, you improve about a second off your best lap time. I've barely improved. My best lap time is still 29.9, so you can just see I've got no pace at all in this race. I'm a little bit quicker than the Haas cars because the Haas cars are just that damn slow. But as we come through club here, keeping up with Schumacher and trying to stick with him here, I just want to get a little bit too much on the throttle, and the car just doesn't like it this time. We have a massive spin through the last corner. We managed to stop there before Mazepin collects us, and as we spin around here and rejoin the track here after losing about 12 seconds there to Schumacher, we pick up a 10-second time penalty, which is a bit of a joke. But I'm going to cut here to the last lap. I've been lapped in this Grand Prix. I had to put on another set of medium tyres because the rain just never came. You can see it's still dry, so in typical Formula 1 fashion, the predicted rain doesn't come, and it's going to fall right after this Grand Prix, unfortunately for us. But we're going to come through now.
I don't think it's going to stay dry for much longer.
Finish at the back.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
So a disappointing result, a disappointing day, a disappointing run of races. But we'll give it to Crofty now. for a race rundown.
Here we are then, a fantastic British Grand Prix, and what a performance it was from our race winners today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Lance Stroll certainly put in an impressive performance today. No doubt his team and fans are extremely proud.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
So that was the British Grand Prix, everybody, today. A really disappointing result. Lewis Hamilton wins in front of the home fans with a Mercedes 1-2, Perez in third with Norris in fourth. Verstappen recovering after that spin mid-race to P5 with noting here Ocon and Giovinazzi, who we were probably fighting today. I don't think anything better. Finish in 12th and 13th, so unfortunate for us. We end up finishing in last. There's not much I could really do about it. Our pace was actually quite strong. I think we were quicker than Ocon and Giovinazzi. I thought we were. Maybe we were just hanging in there DRS, and I think we could have, potentially been able to pass them. I don't know what we would have been able to do. I think that's where our fight was today. Unfortunately, as soon as that issue came, the car just never recovered, and you saw immediately the pace just completely fell away. And in the championship, Hamilton's now got a 44-point lead over Verstappen with his poor result today, and we don't score any points, and we still hold a 1-point lead over Alfa Romeo in the constructors. So yeah, missing out on all those points last time out in Austria. No points again today. A retirement in France. It's been a terrible run of form, and Raikkonen here eventually now wins this rivalry, and quite comfortably in the end. Yeah, those last three races really hurt because he was out qualifying me, but I was out racing him in the last three races. We didn't out race him, and that means he wins the rivalry quite comfortably in the end. So that's disappointing. We'll miss out on that acclaim. The team level for acclaim is now at level 10. Myself is at level 6. So yeah, once again, don't get that extra sponsor bonus. But what I didn't realise, because the team is now at level 10, but I can get a secondary sponsor bonus. I didn't realise that. I think I could have had that from a few races ago, actually. But I just didn't realise until this episode. So when I get... So we're going to sim through here now, and you can see I got a renew sponsor. And as I renew the sponsor, I realised I had an open slot for a secondary sponsor. But yeah, at that time, I just renewed the sponsor. But we're going to come through here to the fabrication of the chassis department. We're going to upgrade this so I can have simultaneous developments on two parts, which is going to be quite helpful.
As we continue to increase our acclaim.
And you can see, yeah, we got a development failure there for an aerodynamic, which was quite disappointing. But as we sim through...
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for this weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen. We have a problem regarding our driver. How do you want to handle this?
So yeah, Lundgaard wants to do some yoga. That's fine. We'll accept that, I believe.
Thanks.
Gives him some awareness,
I
which is
know
going to
these
help us
kinds of
actually quite a
decisions
bit.
can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
So thanks for that. So as we sim through now, we obviously had that part fail. We redeveloped it, but now our control electronics is wearing at an unbelievable rate. So we're going to have to change that again very shortly. It's wearing incredibly fast. So I'm trying to develop that. In order to do that, I have to do the MGUK first, which is quite annoying. But as we sim through, we get all these developments come through in the car.
We've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
So yeah, that's really exciting. As we go here to the development screen, you can see we've jumped ahead of Alfa Romeo now. So Q2 should definitely be where we're looking to aim for in Hungary. It's a strong track for the player. I feel like it has been for me in the past. I've always gone well at Hungary. Tends to be a place where I pick up podiums and stuff and good points. So yeah, this should be a good Grand Prix. We're quite close there on Alpine. And here I realised my sponsorship, I can get a secondary one, and yeah, we do that and pick up PSD as a secondary sponsor. And now also we're going to develop here the pistons for more engine power. You can see our engine power is quite good. Second car in the engine department compared to Mercedes, which is really, really good for us. Better than the Works Honda team in Red Bull. So yeah, that's going to be today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Smash that subscribe button. Smash the like button as well, for that matter. Would really appreciate it. And comment your feedback on this video in the comment section below. But that's been it. Until the next one, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.